Have you ever wondered about how people feel? Have you ever gone through a horrible experience or a great one? Do you remember how it felt back then? Why do you always remember the sad moments more often than the good ones? It's hard to understand, isn't it? Welcome back, English seekers. I feel good today and hope you feel great. I'm not actually going to talk about trauma or things of this nature. In fact, I intentionally mentioned a couple of important questions as a segue and a reminder of how present perfect is usually used with feelings, experiences, and memories. Just there is something I want to share with you regarding that point. From heart to heart, whatever happened to you happened for a reason, right? You might not see it because you're overwhelmed by your emotions, but believe me, you're getting stronger than you think. Allah loves you. Just open your heart and see that blessing in disguise. You're a fighter, and a normal one, but a fierce and stubborn one. So never ever give up. Keep moving and put a smile on your face no matter what you face. Idioms of the day. Heart's content. If you do something to your heart's content, you do it as much as you want. When you finish studying, you feel like you want to have fun to your heart's content. Heart in the right place. A person who has their heart in the right place has kind feelings and good intentions, even if the results are not that good. I tried to cook as the book says, and I had my heart in the right place, but it didn't end up well. And now it's the time to dive deeper and try to understand this kind of grammatical rule that a lot of people find controversial because they always mix between present perfect and past simple and present perfect continuous and so on. But it is really easier than you think. And it's not that big deal. So, present perfect, just as a reminder, it deals with feelings, experiences, and memories, as I mentioned earlier, and recent actions, things or something that happened in the past, and the impact or the effect of this action stayed up until the present or sometimes the future. And if you just were to go back to an episode that I recorded regarding present perfect, you will find there that I mentioned or I gave you an example. If I'm just slicing tomatoes and then oops, I cut my finger. So when I say I cut my finger, I use here past simple. So you can just figure out from the way that I just talked that, oh my God, it was a big deal and so on. But maybe if you're reading this in a book or something, or if I said this naturally without giving any kind of expressions, so you understand that it wasn't a big deal, that it was a small cut. But when I use present perfect, when I say I've cut my finger, so that means what? It was a big deal. I went to the hospital, I bled a lot, and so on and so forth. Okay. So it was really horrific. So from this point, you understand that, and even like after, by the way, like after a couple of years, you might see this scar on my finger, right? So the action itself finished and happened in the past, but I still have part of this action. It's incomplete action because I have part of it to the present. And present, now let's try just to put present perfect continuous in the picture so you can see the contrast. When I say I have searched the internet for information, I have been searching the internet for information. Now, what's the difference? I have searched the internet for information. What I have now, the effect is that I don't have information. So the action happened in the past, but here now in the present, I don't have information. I still don't have anything. None. But on the other hand, when I talk about present perfect continuous, so I've been searching the internet for information. I did the action in the past. What I have in the present, nothing as well. I don't have information, but I'm still searching. So the action is still happening. So it's ongoing activity. The effect and the action keep going on together. So that's the difference between present perfect and present perfect continuous. You still have a lot of mutual things between both of them because at the end of the day, it's present perfect, okay? But you add the continuity to it. And that's pretty much the whole thing about present perfect and present perfect continuous. So let's say, for example, I have called you 10 times this morning. That means what? I gave you 10 calls, you didn't answer, and I still have the rest of the day to give you more calls. Because still I have the action started in the past. I've called you, okay? But the effect still, which is you did not answer my calls, and I still have time. So still I have more space to give more calls, okay? When I say I've been calling you since the morning, that means I called, no response, and I'm still calling, okay? So it's a continuous activity. And that's pretty much about present perfect and present perfect continuous. And hope guys you understood this clearly. It's not that hard at all if you really understand present perfect. Yeah, and that's pretty much the whole thing for today's episode. You have a beautiful and wonderful day. See you next time.